All right, we're here. No one's here. Great, excellent. I'm just recording my installation of this. Well, there's actually two of these that form the airspeed sensor holder, and I've got to figure out a way to mount it to the side of the Ranger 2000. So that's what we're doing. Okay, we'll get on it. And I am going to turn off the video that's been playing in the background and put some of this stuff away. Whoops. Always forget about that. Very important task. Okay, so let's get some cameras. We're going to drill a hole where I've marked a hole. Preparation. Okay, so where's the airspeed sensor? Here it is. And I've marked a hole at the rear of this, at the top. And the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to drill one hole. Then I'm going to screw it in, get it where I want it, mark the another hole, screw that one, then do the other two. And we're going to use M2 bolts and these nylon M2 little standoffs to use as nuts. I do have some M2 nuts too. We'll see. But we're not going to use plastic. We're going to use metal. So where did that go? So we're probably going to use some of these little M2 bolts, nuts, bolts. Those are bolts. They're going to be like M2 by 10. I wish I had some little M2 washers, but I don't. I think we're going to use the M2 by 10. Get 4 of those out. That should work. So this thing is going to sit on the side like this. And the pitot tube assembly goes in the middle, in between these two pieces that are clamshelled together. And there is the mark. So it's going to be, for the front piece, is going to go right there. The reason I have it so far back is so I'm hoping to keep it at a wide spot so the tubes and stuff aren't in the way of the battery. Okay, so let's get a drill. And we need some 2mm drill bits. That's what I think we have in here. I'm going to drill a pilot hole with the 1mm bit first. bit on. Okay, that bit is dull. I should use one that is turned up right, hasn't been used before. So hopefully this will work. I should have probably got the 2.5 millimeter size, because I bet you this isn't going to go through here. Well, it actually might thread right in through there. Nice, it actually threads right in there. Now, of course, that's not going to be all that I do. Okay, that looks good. Let's get I'm just going to change it to the 1 millimeter bit. So I'm pretty sure that the iNav firmware does not actually use the airspeed information for anything. I gotta make sure those two are clamped together. That this drill will not drill through this plastic. That is hilarious, folks. Did I get the wrong drill bit? Must have gotten the dull, picked up the dull bit. All right, I'm taking this off, or at least loosening it so I can get at the hole. All right. I'm going to put a screw in. These little screws, these little tiny eensy beensy self-tapping screws like on Amazon. And they are very hard to get started. Did I not drill a hole? I did drill a hole there. I know what we need. Excuse me. We need our little tweezers. Come on. Oh, I can't get this plane to sit still. Okay. It's clear we're going to have to drill. This hole again. So let me say about this Ranger 2000, it is a very hard plane to build with iNav. If you're just going to throw in a receiver, I mean, forget about the airspeed sensor. That's always going to be difficult. Okay. Now we want to get this thing. These screws from Amazon are cheap, and they strip really easily. So you want to make sure, like that when it's not going to hold. So once it starts dripping, chuck it. Get another one. It would be nice in this modern day and age if you could get quality screws somewhere, like something like this with a hex head in the top. Phillips head sucks, of course. It's the stupidest thing, but like all things American, it just is. It's something they did in the past, so I gotta keep doing it. Fucking country. But anyway, you can't get good anything anymore when it comes to little stuff like this. I don't know where you would go. Where is it going in? Crooked. The fuselage is great in that it's strong. No, I didn't get it. Shit. Shit. Okay, I'm going to try it from upside down. This is my fault. This has nothing to do with the Ranger 2000. This is the design of my fucking 3D printed thing, which I designed myself. And then I didn't put it all the way together before I put it on here. Like a fucking idiot. Jesus. Yeah, so the Ranger 2000 is very hard because you can't get anything. It's like building a ship in a bottle. It's the closest thing I can think of to it. Okay, please go in. Thing is, we're going to take this apart. I just want to keep it together. Ah, come on. Ah, come on. Come on. Grab it. Grab it. Ah, I think I got it. Okay. I don't know if I hope we can get that screw out. If I can't, I can always put another one. All right. Let's work. Okay, so now we can do the bottom screws. I'm just going to mark it and take it off and drill it. Okay. Should work. Okay. So I'm waiting, like I said, because of the tiny size of the tiny size, not the tiny size, the tiny amount of access. When it goes through, it goes through. Okay, so now we're going to try to clean up this hole a little bit that it drilled. It doesn't take too kindly to being cleaned up. We'll see if we can thread these screws in. Where did you go? Still here. Oh yeah, no problem. This one too. Okay. So now that we know we can get this thing, we're going to test fit it one last time. Start with one screw. Make sure we can put all 4 screws in. Then we're going to take apart the clamshells and mark where the tube holes go. The pitot tube has 2 air tubes. Okay, that one found its little home, no problem. No? No, it won't go in. Okay, that one goes right in. Just had a screw in there. Okay. So they all go in. And it will hold it on, and it looks good. Well, I don't know about it looking good, but functionally it will hold the airspeed sensor. I'm hoping far enough away from the fuselage. I know it seems way back, but I'd have to redesign the airspeed this holder. I had it too straight. So now what I'm going to do is take apart the clamshell again. Throw these screws out. Start with new ones when I do the new assembly. Into the trash. Because the tops, even when you're not really losing your grip, it still strips them out a little bit. They're such shitty metal. But I didn't strip them so much that I couldn't get them out. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're just going to put one of these on. And then that way we can see where the tubes will enter the fuselage. And then we can mark it for drilling. That is the plan anyway. That's the plan. Just put one there. Put one there. Then we can mark it exactly where we need to mark it. I don't know if this will even mark on here. You can see now a close-up. There's not really any straight parts on here, and when you're designing in Fusion, yeah, I think we're going to have to use the other end. I think the first thing I should do is mark the center point of where I think the hole should be. Right there. And then the center point of where I think the hole should be for the back tube. The straight tube. So the straight tube on the analog sensor goes to the top port on the sensor module, which I don't have out. And then the angled tube goes to the bottom port on the sensor module, the port closest to the board. Thank you, Andrew Newton, for that information. So now what we're going to do is take this back off. We're going to drill those two holes. And we're going to get the tube out and measure. We're going to drill two pilot holes. Let's drill the pilot holes with the 1mm bit first. These bits are very wobbly and cheap. I need to get a smaller drill for these smaller bits. Okay, so now that we have that, we can go into our box of goodies. And here we have our pitot tube. And we want to try to keep it out of the range of all of our junk because we don't want it to get dirty.
Okay, we've got this zeroed. Let's measure the thickness of the tube. 3.9, 4 millimeters, we'll say, or so. So let's go find a 4 millimeter drill bit. Or close to it. And hopefully, let's see, what's this? It's 4.9. We'll get the next one down. What's this one over here? Where is that bit? Yeah, that one belongs here. That's probably closest to it. Yeah, we'll do this one. We have our 3.9. Oh, this is 5.1. That's probably too much. No, that's only 0.5 millimeter on each side. Let's give it a little room. Okay, so this is what we're going to use. Now the question is should we drill in another 2 millimeter hole first? Change to the 5 millimeter. This is actually some Imperial something, but I hate Imperial. What is it? I had to keep that too. Silly country. We couldn't change to the metric system when I was a kid like we were supposed to. Because of the goddamn same people who... forget it. Okay, that looks good. Now let's just check. Make sure we're in the same ballpark. We have these over these screw holes. Does it look like we have a hole in the right place? Kind of, sort of. Might need to be a little lower. We'll see. Oh, that one went right through. Okay. Now we're getting to the serious business here. Because now we're going to take this. We don't need to be drilling anymore, I don't think. We're going to move this aside. And we're going to get out the pitot tube again. So the way this works is it goes right in there. The idea is they just give you one length of tube. You have to cut it and put the other length on there. So what I want to see is what I'm going to do is screw this bottom piece on again. So it's not so fiddly. When you're working with these models, that's fiddly. This is not like... In some ways, it's kind of like building a ship in a bottle, but not really. So it's not like that, but... It is fiddly. We're making progress, folks. These live streams are good because even though nobody's watching, it motivates me to keep working so I don't look like an idiot. Instead of take a break and stare at what I've been doing. So it looks like it's going to fit. Let's put the other piece on top and see if we're going to need to. I mean, it looks like it's clamshelling right together. I left enough space. Okay, so now the question is the module. And the module needs to be found, first of all. Where is it? Doesn't appear to be in here anymore. Oh, there it is. Okay. Excuse me. Oh, there's a first look of what it looks like. That's pretty cool. My first pitot tube. Pitot. Okay. So inside of here, we have now the situation where you have to work out where it's going to go. And I think here's the module. I don't think this is the module. I know this is the module. I think I want to put it. Okay, so this first piece is the piece that's going to go. The one that goes straight out goes to the top. And the one that goes at an angle out goes to the bottom, the one closest to the board. And I'm thinking that I'm going to have it. And I'm just going to stick it inside there. Oh, I just dropped it. Let's hope I can grab it. Oh dear. Oh dear. It's way in there. Oh my goodness. Am I going to be able to grab it? Like I said, working on this Ranger 2000 has its difficulties. There. Exactly what I'm trying not to do is get it messed up in all the dirt in there. Okay, so I think I'm going to be sticking the air tube on and just jamming it. Maybe it will be like this. And gluing it to the side. So we only need like that much. Okay, so we're going to cut it off about right there. Right there. Where's my cutters? Oh, right here. Okay, that's not going to work. Let's make a mark on it. because it's going to go. What I should do is put it up here so I can get at it. But will that put it in the way of the battery? Oh, fiddly, fiddly, fiddly. Okay, I still think I don't need that much. That's going to be going there. This is going to go right. This is why this plane takes hours and hours. You got to figure it out. Okay, it turns right there. Right there. It's going to put a mark on it. That's about how long we're going to do it. Okay. So we'll cut that right there. Then we put this through this hole. And we'll put this on here. Get it all the way on. Okay. Get that through there. Then we have to do the wiring for this. I guess I'm just going to solder on a servo cable onto there. So we're going to just give it a chance. We're not going to cut it off, but there you can see. Spar out of the way. You can see what the pitot tube assembly looks like with the top part not put on yet. And then inside there, let's see how can you get to see in there. Oh, this way. See, there you go. This is the GPS, which is going to go on top of the flight controller. Somehow, didn't quite work out exactly the way I thought either. Okay, so the next thing I was going to do, I ordered some stuff from Palulu, and I was just going to do, but I am just going to solder on something. So that needs to go from about there. How long do we need it? Mess up the short ones. Gonna mess up the long ones. I have more long ones than short ones, I think. Okay, so now we got to set up for soldering. We need to solder our dude on here. And how long of a wire we're going to need? It's got to go back there and then out. So we'll do about like this much. That's how much we're going to get. This much. That'll make sure that it can get to the flight controller no matter what. And I can just, again, there's a whole bunch of room down there. So I just took this and cut it in half. And this half goes back in the servo box. Servo drawer, servo cable drawer. By the way, these extra cables hanging out here are just there to, so I don't lose track of these wires in the fuselage until I get the flight controller set in there. Okay, next, prepare soldering. And do that by moving all of our other stuff out of the way. Sorry, I spend a lot of time moving my tools around, don't I? I hate having a bunch of shit everywhere. And then I try not to have my desk looking like, my workbench looking like Bruce Simpson's. No offense to Sir Bruce. Okay. Here we go. We are putting this on. I won't even put the drill bits away right now. Here's our screws for that. Okay. There. We'll switch to this. So now what we're going to do is that's our airspeed sensor. Here, switch to that screen. There we go. Airspeed sensor. So, and servo wires. And for this flight controller, we don't use the half, we use the signal. That's only for the F405, which I happen to have one of those. It's in the, oh, maybe that's a F411. I don't know what that one is. It's the only other full-size flight controller, wing flight controller that I have from Matek. All the other ones are 411 WSEs, which I have a whole crop of. An entire crop of WSEs. Ooh, I had a chat. What does it say? Who was chatting at me? Hey, my work is great, thanks. I don't know if you're still here, but thank you. I'm going to say thank you, just in case. Thanks for chatting, too. Still haven't got my chat window on my monitor over here where I can see, but thank you for saying that. Okay, let's move along. Continue the great work, I guess. Okay, so... glasses. We'll start with 26. I always forget what I just start with. Okay, that's peeling off too much, but we'll clip it off. So we're going to tin these wires. Are they wires or cables? I think they're cables, and they're what's inside our wires. English language. Okay. Alright, soldering iron is not on. Let's prepare this properly. We'll get a little bit to put this in here so you can see on that camera. There's half of the 3D printed part that I designed to hold the Matek. The main problem seems to be these screw holes to hold it together, so we're going to work on that before we do the final assembly. That'll be to hold that. But you don't want it to let a bunch of dirt get in these holes or in the tubes. So we're going to try to keep it relatively clean around here. And soldering is up to temp. And did I prepare the sponge? I don't think so. A little bit of water on the sponge. All right. Here we go. Airspeed sensor cable. Ooh, I got the big soldering iron. I'm going to have to change that. Big tip, I mean. The tip's a little too big. So we're going to turn this off. And we'll change the tip. Oh. While it's hot. Set that down there. Then get the other tip. Set it on. I'm actually burning the wood over here. I'll set it over there for a second. And I'll set it over here for a second. And then I'll put this back on. You do not touch the metal parts, of course, because it's still hot, because I just had it on. And just get it finger tight. Now we can turn it back on. You can see other, well, maybe you can't see where I've set the soldering iron tip. Okay, so next we're going to tin up these little pieces right here. This way. So we'll tin up the ground. 5 volts and signal. And then, oops. These little guys up here. Then we're going to take our little wire, trim it off a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to use the pliers or not. Then we're going to get our solder, get some solder ready. And we'll do the ground first. is good. 5 volts. Let's do another twist. Let's clean our tip. Things always work better. Yowie. And we'll give that one another twist too. There we go. All soldered up. So now we have to figure out, get it plugged into the airspeed port. And then ground 5-volt airspeed right there. Last one, first one. And come on. Oops. Okay. Now, it has to come all the way. How does it go? Do I want to push it underneath or around this way? Okay. I want to push it so it goes back that way. Like with the other wires. There we go. And then down. Okay, so now we can get this on here. Okay. Then we can measure for the other one. Actually, let's get it stuck to where I think it's going to go. Like I said, folks, this Ranger 2000 is a fiddly little beast. And it's not even that little, it's huge. Okay, so that is going to go like... let's not poke myself in the eye with this stick. That is going to get cut off right like that. So I got to get a Sharpie. Okay, that's where we're going to cut this one off at. Okay, that's how much I have left over. Then we get that into the other slot. Yep. Look at that. Get that out of the way. And this, I'm going to put a little sticky on there. And then stick it right there. So first we'll put this in first. Is that okay? Yeah, that's good. That'll work. Right? Okay, so let's get this all stuck together this way first, which means we have to put I think I screwed from the bottom last time. Okay. This is the hardest part. I think I should start with a 1.5 drill bit, which I do not have here. I will be right back. We're off to get a 1.5 drill bit. So where's the 1.0 drill bits? Here they are. That one goes back in there. And these look like 1.5. Get one that's fresh. These are cheap. Okay, we need to drill again. We probably can't go into beta flight without killing the stream because I'll have to reboot my computer. Because that's just how it goes. Oh, helps if I plug it in. Looks all good. And you can see, I don't know if you can see in there, airspeed sensor. Yeah. There's the, without the front on it, at the top. The airspeed sensor, the monstrosity that I built. I know, it's kind of crude, but okay, so now what we're going to do is get the other screws started. We need the little screwdriver that could. Here we go. until I can feel just the tip. Okay. Two more. Probably overkill. Probably only needed like 3 screws to hold this together, but and since it's being clamped to the side, really no screws. There's the tip. Okay. Now we're going to turn it this way. And we're going to try to clamp it really hard. I think what I'm going to do is get a clamp and help me. Why not have some help? So I'm going to clamp it. Looks good. Need to turn the clamp the other way. Oh. It's a beautiful thing, though. Yeah.
Will you come for a walk with me?
Yeah.
Zoe farted and her piece of poop came out.
Okay.
It's okay, Zoe. You're embarrassed.
All right. I don't know if you heard that, but my dog is having poop issues, so I'm going to have to run upstairs. But there is the almost completed airspeed pitot tube. Be right back.
All right, we're back. My apologies. The dog needed to be walked. And that's just the way it goes. Can't help it. Okay, so I forgot to take pictures of the airspeed sensor as I constructed it for the build log. Of course. All right. 2 more screws to put in. Then we'll stick it to the side. Then we will just by chance see if we can get into beta. Oh, we can use the SpeedyBee app. So what we're going to do is thread these in here. Then we're going to put little nylon standoffs to act as nuts on the other side. There we go. That is nice. That turned out pretty nice. I'm pretty happy with this. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm pretty happy with it. It looks good, and that's the important thing. Right? It looks like somebody knew what they were doing when they designed it. Even though somebody did not know what they were doing when they designed it. I wish I knew where I put my phones, but... Okay, so now what we're going to do is just get a little piece of double-sided tape. See if we can stick it to the bottom. The next piece of this puzzle will be to put in the flight controller, I think, which is something I am not at all looking forward to. Okay, this whole supposed stand that I've created sucks. Okay. All right, so this is just gonna get stuck right like that, right? So I'm just going to get a little square piece. Like this. And we're going to stick it on. I guess I should have made sure it worked first, but we have ground, 5 volt. Okay. The hardest part of using this sticky tape is getting the backing off of it. There. Oh, come on. It's a fucking pain in the ass just to get the backing off of this stuff. There we go. Now, we got to not stick it to anything until we stick it to what we want to stick it to. Does that make sense?
the hell out of my way, motor wire. Okay, we're just gonna put it right like that. Oh. Well, I think I got it where I want it, sort of. Let's see. You cannot get the camera in there. There it is. I hope it's okay to bend that tube like that. It isn't really sharp, but that's on there really good. I think it's gonna work. It's awful draggy just to get airspeed. Okay, the next thing to work on is the pan tilt mount, and we don't need any of the airplane to do that. So we're gonna move this back, recenter the spars. This is not a good stand. All right, well, I think we will end this live stream. I might just start another one in a few minutes. I'm going to get all the stuff ready to get the pan tilt mount for the run cam hybrid split, whatever it's called, 4K. So, but this will end this live stream of putting this, getting this to actually work, and it does work. So thank you once again to Fusion 360, because you guys make some awesome software, and I can draw this stuff up and print it out. And this worked out perfectly. This was the third, basically, well, it says V6 here, but basically I went through 3 iterations of this design to get it to fit the airspeed sensor and the tubes in a way that I thought was appropriate. And I think it's worth the trouble. At least it looks good. So now what we're going to do is probably close this out. The airspeed sensor has been completed, and it's been fun. Another build. How long did it take? 1 hour 42 minutes. Yeah, for one airspeed sensor install plus a dog walk. So I appreciate everybody watching, and I will see you next time. Next time we meet again. Thanks for watching.